It was you. You made the White Walkers.
We were at war. We were being slaughtered. Our sacred trees cut down. We needed to defend ourselves.
From whom?
From you. From men.
What's the deal, my people? You know it is Don Tony Teflon, and I'm back at you with another one. And this one is part 2 on why the Children of the Forest truly won the Game of Thrones and why they are the ultimate evil of this show. In part 1, I gave you the ultimate breakdown, cliff notes of why I exactly felt this way about the Children of the Forest and why I came up with this theory. In this video, I'm going to explain to you the Long Night and the Targaryens beginning history with the Children of the Forest. So if you like that, please subscribe to this channel so you can be notified when I upload the next 2 parts of this video series. So let's get right into it. The Long Night from the world of Ice and Fire. As the first men established their realms following the pact, little troubled them save their own feuds and wars, or so the histories tell us. It is also from these histories that we learn of the Long Night, when a season of winter came and lasted a generation in which children were born, grew into adulthood, and in many cases died without ever seeing the spring. Indeed, some of the old wise tales say ever beheld the light of day. So complete was the winter that fell on the world. Yet there are other tales, harder to credit and yet more central to the old histories, about creatures known as the Others. According to these tales, they came from the frozen lands of always winter, bringing the cold and darkness with them as they sought to extinguish all light and warmth. The tales go on and say they rode monstrous ice spiders and the horse of the dead, resurrected to serve them, just as they resurrected dead men to fight on their behalf. So after they signed the pact with the first men, some years later, all of a sudden these creatures called the Others come out of nowhere and start attacking man and slaughtering all of man. And this winter, out of nowhere, comes that lasts a full generation. This brings us to the story of the last hero. Now, legend in the north says that the last hero and his companions went in search of the Children of the Forest during the Long Night. He was the only survivor from his company after attacks of giants, wights, and others. The last hero then eventually reached the children and gained their assistance. At this time, the Night's Watch was formed and they won the Battle of the Dawn. And this ended the generation-long winter that sent the Others into retreat. Where they believed they went to was the lands of always winter. Which then brings us to the construction of the wall by Bran the Builder with help from the Children of the Forest. And according to myth, there are old spells woven into the wall to strengthen it and keep creatures of a magical nature, such as the Others, from passing through it. So what does this tell us from everything we have just heard about the Children of the Forest? What does this truly tell us about all these wonders that we supposedly get from the Children of the Forest? I will play for you this one clip that will explain everything.
It was you. You made the White Walkers.
We were at war. We were being slaughtered. Our sacred trees cut down. We needed to defend ourselves.
From whom?
From you. From men.
So by them admitting this, they're basically saying that the whole story was fake. Everything they did about the White Walkers was all a lie. So let's go back and look at the whole story again. They were getting slaughtered by the first men. And then they came up with the pact, right? After the pack, all of a sudden, these creatures came from the land of always winter. But we know now that no creatures came from the land of always winter. These creatures were created by the children of the forest. As I said, they played the long game. This was their plan from the start. The only reason they signed the pact was so that it could buy them time. And when it bought them the time they needed, they created the White Walkers. And by having this story of them coming from the lands of always winter, who made this story up? It was made up by the children of the forest. This is their story. They're the ones who said, oh, these creatures, they must have came from the lands of always winter, when they know that they were the ones who created them. This was all just game, a lie from the beginning by the children of the forest. Which means this wall that was created by the children of the forest, or Brand the Builder, would help from children of the forest and had all this magic put inside of it so it can repel the White Walkers, so it can keep the White Walkers from coming back. That's a lie also. There is no magic in this wall whatsoever. In fact, the first time we see this wall tested, right, it goes down. They knock it completely down. When we see the whites with Jon Snow, we see the white pass right through the wall and come right back to life. So what did this wall prevent? It prevented nothing. When we hear the story about the Night King, the Lord Commander who became the Night King, he had his castle in the wall. In fact, it is said that there were rooms carved directly into the wall from the Night Fort. The only place in the wall a castle had rooms carved directly into it were the Night Fort. And he ruled there with the Night Queen, and nothing happened to him. Nothing kept him from ruling in there. They were okay. So all this wall protecting you from the White Walkers, that's all propaganda. It was all a lie by the children of the forest. And I can give you ultimate proof of it, because when they were coming for them, when the White Walkers were coming for the children of the forest, right? When they were coming to kill them, you seen in the show what happened to the whites when they entered their tree. That's protection. Did we see that happen to these whites when they passed the wall? We see nothing like that. There was no explosion of bodies and bones being thrown everywhere. They just walked right through it because the wall was propaganda. So as I said, the children of the forest are playing the long game, and it doesn't just stop right there. You would think that, hey, they got what they wanted, they could stop right there, but no. Always remember that the children of the forest have the ability to see in the future. And that brings us to our next section dealing with the children of the forest, and that is them with the Valyrians. Really, the Targaryens, how they took advantage of the Targaryens. And we must start with Daenerys the Dreamer, the world of ice and fire, the doom of Valyria. 2 centuries passed, centuries in which the coveted Valyrian steel began to trickle into the 7 kingdoms more swiftly than before, though not swift enough for the lords and kings who desired it. And although the sight of a dragon lord flying high above Blackwater Bay was not unknown, its occurrence was more frequent as time passed. Valyria felt its outpost was secure, and the dragon lords thus continued their schemes and intrigues on their native continent. And then, unexpected to all, save perhaps Aenar Targaryen and his maiden daughter Daenerys the Dreamer, the doom came to Valyria. To this day, no one knows what caused the doom. Most say it was a natural cataclysm, a catastrophic explosion caused by the eruption of all 14 flames together. Now, Valyria rose out of nowhere and became the greatest civilization on this world. They had the greatest architecture. They had the greatest food. Not only did they have those things, but they had dragons. They were dragon riders. They figured out a way to raise and ride dragons. Now, during this whole time, they made a special steel called Valyrian steel. They enslaved people to work in these volcanoes, all these volcanoes, because it was so hot they could not do it themselves. So they enslaved a bunch of people to work there and mine for them. Now, we don't know exactly what they used to make Valyrian steel, but we do know that dragon glass is around volcanoes, and they just happen to have a bunch of volcanoes. And these weapons of Valyrian steel just so happen to be the only steel that can hurt the White Walkers, just like dragon glass is the only things that can kill the White Walkers. So it doesn't take a leap to think that some form of dragon glass was used to make this steel, and that is why it is so effective against the White Walkers. Now, out of nowhere, people say that all of these volcanoes erupted at the same time. Now, usually when a volcano erupts, you can get a sign like maybe one starts smoking, two start smoking. So I think if the Valyrians, who are so smart, would have seen all of these volcanoes smoking, a little earthquake, and it wouldn't have been a little earthquake, it would have been a pretty big one, you would have got a rumbling that there was a problem. But it's so far from what we know, there was no problem. No one's seen anywhere. Out of nowhere, these volcanoes erupted. And one person, only one person in all of Valyria knew this was going to happen, and that was Daenerys the Dreamer. Now, Daenerys was the Dreamer, had prophetic dreams showing the destruction of Valyria by fire. And in 114 BC, her father, Lord Aenar Targaryen, heeded her dream, sold all of his holdings in Valyria, and moved his family and their belongings to Dragonstone, an island in the narrow sea off the coast of Westeros. Now, you might say the Targaryens got lucky. You know, they just so happened to have this daughter who had prophetic dreams. Now, her name is Daenerys the Dreamer. The fact that she's known by this name shows that not many people over here have these type dreams. She's special. Why is she getting these dreams? Aegon the Conqueror is called Aegon the Conqueror because he conquered. Not everybody conquered. That's why it's special. So she's known as the Dreamer because not many people get these dreams. And it's these dreams that lead her family over to Dragonstone, which just so happens to be off the coast of Westeros. Now, we don't know how many dreams she had, but in all honesty, this is the dream that counts because this is the one that saves her family's life. So, why did she get these dreams? It's pretty obvious to me. There's only one person that we know that goes around going into people's dreams. We've seen it happen with Bran, and that is the last Green Seer. Why did the last Green Seer send her dreams? Because it was not an accident that this Doom of Valyria happened. We have seen only one creature that had the ability to do anything like that. And we've seen it when they broke the arm of Dorne, and that is the Children of the Forest. They knew they were going to do that. That's why they warned her to get her and her family out of there. But why would they want them out of there? Why would they want this Targaryens with these few dragons over to Westeros? Well, I'm going to explain all of that in my next video about the Children of the Forest. We're going to talk about, not only are we going to talk about it, but I'm going to provide you with the proof to show you why the Children of the Forest had the Targaryens leave, why they spared their life to begin with, why they wanted them in Westeros, and how they used them in the end to sit on the Iron Throne of Westeros and take over the continent that had been taken from them from the beginning. So make sure that you're subscribed and you click that bell so you can be notified when I upload another video. Please thumbs up this video, leave a comment. That's what YouTube likes to see. The algorithm loves to see people leaving comments and thumbs up to this video. Please do that, and also subscribe to the Lady and the Don podcast. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.